Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? My name is Zen. This is a little bit of a different video than what I normally do, because not normally am I sitting down talking like this to you guys in front of this camera right here, but I figured, I've been streaming a lot, but I might as well try and make something that's, original to YouTube, so to say, because normally I do stream highlights a lot, right? That's sort of my main thing, but I want to try and switch it up a little bit, want to try and add some additional content, and I figured might as well do it with this video right here, because this is a pretty good excuse to, because I just recently hit 2,000 subs on YouTube, which, by the way, again, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it a lot. But with that being said, what I decided to do was I decided to use that as an opportunity. So this is a 2K subscribers Q&A video going on here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking questions from you lovely studs, putting it right up here, and then going ahead and responding to the best ones, seeing what people have asked me, seeing what the people are curious about, because I myself am very curious as to what you're curious about. I mainly posted this on my Instagram story, so a lot of these questions come from there, by the way. Follow my Instagram, zen_sanity. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. _JN706 asks, how'd you come up with the sanity part of your name? So this is really interesting here. I feel like I have to dive into a lot of the history of my name in order to really get this out here, because I'm not really sure a lot of people know. If you've been in my streams a few times, you've probably heard me talk about it, but I just figured I'd go ahead and say it here. So when I was around, I'd say 14 or 15, I was really into Team Fortress 2, and I still am into that game. That game is one of my all-time favorites. But I remembered in Team Fortress 2, I mained the Spy. Now, this seems completely unrelated, but trust me, it gets there. So I made the Spy, but I had no, actual alias to call my own. Basically, what I had done is I'd taken people's aliases that sounded cool and just yoinked them as my own, right? But because I was a small random nobody, right, no one gave a fuck. But eventually I decided, you know what? I was doing some YouTube stuff at the time. I was making smaller YouTube videos for getting 10, 15 views per. But I decided, you know what? I might as well make my own name, make my own gamer tag. So how did I go about deciding that? Well, like I said before, I made the Spy in Team Fortress 2, so I wanted my name to be something related to that. So what my bitch ass decided to do was I decided to say, okay, here's what I'm gonna do, all right? I'm gonna go on Google translate random things and see what looks the coolest. That's literally it. What I did was I was thinking about the Spy in Team Fortress 2. I was like, what does the Spy do? Oh, he goes invisible, he disappears. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna look up the word disappear in Google Translate and just see what comes out the other end, see if it looks cool. One of the first results, because it goes in alphabetical order, was Albanian, I believe. I believe the name it came up with was, it's gonna be up here. I have no fucking clue how to pronounce it. I'll probably have a clip of Google Translate actually pronouncing it. But yeah, I had no clue how to pronounce it. I was just like, okay, that looks cool. Might as well have that. So that became my name. And nobody could pronounce it. Strangely enough. Wonder why. At first, it wasn't a big deal because I was so small, no one really gave a shit about me, so no one tried to pronounce it, right? But I decided to go to a Smash tournament locally because I'm really into Smash as well. And then when I tried entering as my gamer tag, the tournament organizers and everybody else that was playing could not pronounce it. So I was like, okay, if I want something that, is my own name, it might as well be pronounceable. And something important in Smash is that you can only have, I believe, up to 5 characters in Brawl and 4 characters in Melee as your name. But I realized is that my whole name wouldn't fit even if I wanted to. But I realized is that I could cut out the huge middle portion of it and it would just be Zen. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. My name's gonna be Zen now. But as you all probably well know, Zen is a very common word. So I wanted to add something else to make it a little bit different, a little bit special. At the time, I was starting to get into CSGO, and there was one player in particular named Schneider. At one point, I was checking him out because he was one of the players that I watched a lot. I was checking out his Steam, and you can see the usernames that somebody used on Steam. And one of them was Sanity, where they took the first part of Schneider and added San at the end. No clue why. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna yoink that. So basically, that's how the name Zensanity came to be. The first part was a really long-winded story about me going through my exploration of names in Team Fortress 2, realizing nobody could pronounce it, and then shortening it. And the other one is just this is a cool part of this last name here. I'll just yoink that. The next question here is coming from Ninkaze_. What is currently your favorite game thing to do in my free time? My favorite thing to do is play Melee. Melee is by far one of my favorite games ever. It's along the top. Something I really wanted to do as of late is get really, really good at Melee. Because if you look at Melee footage a lot, I feel like it's an incredibly interesting and deep game. And there's a lot to it, more so than a lot of other games people typically play. I really like it personally because I'm kind of a perfectionist and I really like competition and proving that I can whoop other people's asses and things. And Melee is the perfect thing to do that. There's just so many options and so many different cool things that you can do at any given point that it gives a lot of room for players to like express themselves in their own play style. Like you can watch videos of certain top level players and you would immediately know it was them because they have such a distinct style. I think that's one of the favorite parts about the game, and that's why I like playing it as much. So yeah, that's my favorite thing to do currently in my free time, is just grind the shit out of that game, and I'm hoping to become pretty good at it. But we'll see. This one's coming from AB Stuff and Art. What/who inspired you to start YouTube plus Twitch streaming? That's a pretty good question, actually. I think I've had an interest in YouTube ever since I was like, I want to say 7 or 8, I believe. I remember looking up YouTube videos all the time for stuff like Club Penguin, Wizard 101, Beyblades, just stuff that I was into. And then I wanted to go ahead and be creative and also make my own YouTube videos. So when I was like that age, around 8 or 9 or so, I booted up Windows Movie Maker, and I just started editing things like recording gameplay using unregistered Hypercam 2, you know, the best recording software there is. Just recorded using unregistered Hypercam 2 and just edited over in Windows Movie Maker complete, you know, it had that powerful 2008, 2009 Windows Movie Maker style energy to it. Hello YouTube, today and I'm going to teach you how to get 500,000 gold Club Penguin for free. Yes, follow this link, download here and you're good to go. But yeah, no, it was just cool to see all these different YouTube videos and I felt like I could insert my own creativity into them. So I've always wanted to do YouTube for the longest time. For Twitch streaming, I don't really know. It's something that I did really on and off, I think. I had a few accounts. Not that they were TOS or anything. It's just that I don't remember the passwords to any of the other ones anymore. So they don't matter. I'm pretty sure it was Shroud though, because I remember seeing Shroud stream a ton during the Counter-Strike days when I really played back in like 2016, 2017. And Shroud was just in his fucking heyday, I swear. That dude could hit every single shot imaginable. But I remember watching Shroud a ton, seeing just how popular it was, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do this too. That's just started my streaming desire, if you will, my streaming endeavor and pursuit. It's nothing too special, really. No deep sentimental meaning or anything. I was just like, hey, this is cool. I want to try this. Nothing else to it. Chloe.ejs asks, what's my favorite thing about being a streamer? That's also a really good question. My favorite thing about being a streamer is just the fact that I can relate to so many different types of people that aren't necessarily commonly represented, and that I can be like somewhat of a person that they can, you know, relate to, and that there will be an environment there in my stream where they can feel welcome and safe, which I think is incredibly awesome. Because if you didn't know, I am LGBT. And one of the things is that LGBT stuff is not commonly represented in a lot of traditional media. So when somebody comes to my stream and they're LGBT as well, they feel welcome, they feel included, they feel like, you know, they belong. And I feel like that's what a lot of people want, is to feel included, to feel like they belong, to feel like they matter, right? And I feel like in my stream that it's incredibly cool that I can have an audience where people feel that way. And I want to go ahead and continue to cultivate that and nurture those relationships, if you will. It's not really something I started streaming with the intention of doing. It's just something that came about over a course of time. If you had asked me this when I just started streaming, I believe the answer that I would have given you is the freedom and the flexibility of just everything with streaming does, and just how much room for growth there is, which I still think is a very big part of it. But probably my favorite thing right now is just the fact that, you know, I can be there for so many different types of people, and I think that's just an incredibly cool thing to do. All right, next one coming up from Sam Bertolino. If I'm butchering that, please let me know. What is more superior, man ass or woman ass? Ass is ass, regardless of how you put it. All ass is good. Western asked, how are you so incredibly sexy? I'm just built different. Knockoff Gumball asked, as someone who's struggling with it, how did you figure out and or deal with your gender identity? And that's a very good question. Thank you for asking that. Honestly, when I was in school, if there was something that I didn't know a lot about, I was a research Andy, okay? I just looked into almost every single thing I possibly could have when it came to that. When I was having different feelings about my gender identity, I remember just going through a bunch of different like Wikipedia things. Like you could go through the Wikipedia rabbit hole, if you will. I just remember going through those things with just the different gender identities. And I think there are specific gender wikis to get more in depth than that than maybe Wikipedia itself. But I remember going through one of those until I found something that described me. And eventually I came across non-binary and I was like, you know what? That shit is me. And so here I am. Secret Howling asks, does beef or I have the fatter ass? That's for you to decide. Deductive went ahead and asked, when's the full suit? When I stop being poor as shit. I actually was going to get a full suit originally with the maker that I was planning on getting it from. But what I ended up deciding was that my bank account was in too dire of a state, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it or not. So as a result, I decided against going for the full suit, and I just went with the partial instead. In all honesty, if I could go back again, I probably would have gotten the full suit, but it's whatever. At this point, I'm still happy with what I have, and I could get one later when I have more money to deal with it. Ruek asks, favorite color and animal and why? Now, favorite color is interesting. It would be either black or purple. I don't know if black counts because some people are like, no, you can't say black is a favorite color, but I would probably put black. But for those people that are still kind of doubters or whatever, I would say purple. As for favorite animal, it's a really, really tough call between dog and cat. Both are so cute. I'm probably gonna go with dog though. I will say though, cats are a lot less of a pain to take care of than dogs, so they have that going for them. Key Lime asks, does your cat like baths? She is baby. She does not like baths at all. If you go anywhere near her at a time where she does not want to be touched or anything, she will just wrap herself around whatever you're grabbing her with and just start chowing down. Like if you reach out your hand towards her, she will wrap around your arm and just start kicking and biting at it. She's not a fan of that. Do you think she'd be a fan of that also with water on top of that? The answer is a hard no. Cam asks, how's your day, bro? My day is going good. Hope your day is going good too. Tiny2Dimes asks, who's your favorite band / singer? I don't really have any. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been the type of person that's really associated with a specific band or singer. For me, it's always been a thing where I like songs and songs alone. I don't really hold any loyalty to specific artists, to specific genres or anything. It could be in the weirdest genre, but if I like the song, I like the song, you know? It could be an artist that I like, but if I don't like the song, you know, I don't like it. It's just a matter of whether or not I personally like the song and enjoy it, and I can just more so, I guess, vibe with it. I can't really think of a better word, but that's probably the best one I can think of. Julian asks, how did you meet BTS? And this is a pretty long-winded story. It's a huge chain of event thing where one thing just led to another, until eventually the ball kept rolling and rolling until I met them. For those of you who don't know, BTS stands for Boys That Stream. It's my stream group that I'm a part of. It consists of people like Joko_Mason, Dave Kratzy, and more. You can find info for Boys That Stream in the description below. Highly recommend you check it out. But honestly, Boys That Stream, meeting all of them was kind of a snowball effect, I'd say. What originally happened was Joko was the first one out of those that I had met. And that was because we played on the same Counter-Strike team together, funnily enough. I was looking to compete in Counter-Strike competitively. He was too. And we just so happened to end up on the same team and becoming friends. I didn't realize that Joko had streamed as well. I wasn't aware of that side. I was just playing with him in Counter-Strike because we liked to. But when I found out that he did stream, it was around late March to early April. It was around the same time that zensanity.live was taking off. And as a result, we kept talking until eventually he decided that he needed someone to go ahead and cut up some videos for him so that he could post content on YouTube. And I was also getting back into editing at the time because I saw zensanity.live. I was like, I wanted to go ahead and make content again to become, you know, a really good streamer in light of this because this is incredibly cool and motivating. So Joko reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to cut up some stuff? And I'm like, sure, why not? And from Joko, that was where I met Mason because Mason was also needing somebody to edit videos. And at the time I was in college, I had a job. I was like, you know what? I like editing videos. I might as well just do it, whatever. I didn't really care. So I was editing for Joko and Mason. I was in college taking classes, and I was also juggling a job that I was working about 20-25 hours a week. There was quite a bit going on for me. Then eventually what ended up happening was Mason wanted to host an event called Twitch Survivor, which you can find a video of on my channel of the highlights of all of that. But that's where everything really started to kick into high gear. Originally, I wasn't supposed to get in because Josh, I think, was supposed to be in there, but Josh didn't show up. So Mason tweeted out, hey, if anyone mutuals want to join this event, let me know. And I replied, haha, hey, smile, thinking that it would just be a joke. But then he DMs me like, hey, do you want in? But I didn't think I would get in. So I was like, oh yeah, sure. And then he goes ahead and invites me to the event. And then from that event, I met a bunch of people that I still talk to today. I met Cooper, Sneak, Krinios, Poke, Dave, and it was just this amazing thing where I just got to meet so many cool people and so many people that I saw as creators. Getting to interact with them this way was extremely cool to me. From that, I actually got editing positions with some of the people that I played with, Cooper, Sneak, and Krinios, to name a few. Then as a result, because I was constantly interacting with these people from an editing perspective and also just chilling, talking to them. Eventually, when Boys That Stream came to be, I was one of the people that was, you know, roped into it. So here I am. Also, by the way, Jack, if you're watching this, fuck you. Anyways, that about wraps this up. Thank you guys so much again for 2,000 subscribers. It's incredibly cool to be able to entertain you guys like this and be here for y'all. And I'm eternally grateful to you guys for giving me the audience that I have. So again, thank you. And I'm looking forward to 2,000 more subs and eventually, you know what, many more. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check all my socials down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until next time, take care, everyone.